the Flemish affair. Kasa wa mamgreha Quran memreda sai mustajab na me katre ina medin na majifu na asme bibiara Ramadan Ramadan twi ko frankwe ya zenya mishri na biya mo tena mi impri mambone kasa pone ne ma biya ko te biara biya twi na ya brasalo dona some pone ya Ramadan yes والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Imam Abdullah Subhan Ben Mokasa. Sabe de faz a coisa na Ramadan. Da essa Ramadan finais incident free. Eu passei Ramadan. Estou Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhaji Musa Dunya Ramadan ya museme kese na magatuye yesere tu fona ko omwa na enye sene tu fona ko sadia atu ebino atuye ebeto ni inshallah assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh ajiye fo yamia ya dom esre tu fona wa Ramadan يبسرم سار مدار يا فسبان أبرا أني فمر تودي شبان أبرا أني مرموا نبي هو لا أتي يم نمي بني أمواي نشرا
Ramadan ya pomwa yensha bian chin hon yemfa kuma pa inshallah Ramadan
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Idin Hassana Ibrahim Godai do masho na me pesa me yawe Muslim brothers Muslim wakana na Ramadan Kareem na me try morning getting Ramadan say Ramadan I'm me Ramadan Kareem. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
استجنا يا رمضان استجنا باقي كم يوم على
Father so masjid and ya basi besra students any mommy our Fatima Farida ni o ma be chichen komo Ramadan ho any faso e koma oba busumi inti yen say no ye be kona yan ko na enyo be ji assalamu alaikum. So, you're listening any Auntie Kabira and students, your headmistress, some people Betty program anyway. So yes, we would get them to introduce themselves. We will start with Auntie Kabira.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Kabirat Ahmed Salis, and I'm the principal of Fatima Farida Educational Complex, Salaba branch.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Iman Mohammed, and I'm the head mistress of this branch, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sakina Yusuf. I'm the manager of Fatima Farida.
My name is Madam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Nadat Abdullah Fawini, and I'm a student of Fatima Farida, the Salaba branch.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Abdul Karim Abdullah. I'm a student of Fatima Farida.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Salaba branch.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
My name is Hafiza Siddiq. I am in BS6.
We've gotten our speakers and listeners to introduce themselves. So without wasting much time, we'll start with the program. And I know we will have to involve Allah in the whole thing. So we'll say Bismillah as the main lesson, and then we'll start with the program.
Yeah.
So the topic is on Ramadan and the benefits a woman or the Muslimah can gain in this month. So without wasting much, I'll get to ask our younger sisters here what they know about Ramadan before we go to Auntie Kabira and then our other speakers. So our first speaker, what do you know about Ramadan?
All bad deeds and devils are chained to let us stop the bad deeds we are doing.
In my opinion, in Ramadan, we don't know blood in our hearts and we forgive each other all the bad things that God has done to us.
In Ramadan, we know that the police all hellfire.
In Ramadan, we do not cheat and we do other good things.
In Ramadan, we must recite Quran like water, because in Ramadan, Allah collects your Quran. Allah collects it fast than the other days.
Our sisters have done justice to what Ramadan is. I know any layman who listens to this would get to know what Ramadan is by listening to these explanations. So we would get to our auntie, the head mistress of Fatima Farida, what she also knows about Ramadan, what she can say about Ramadan, so that our listeners can also get to benefit from it.
Okay, so Ramadan is basically one of the months in the Islamic calendar, and during that time we abstain from basically from food and some other relevant things that Allah has ordained we abstain from. So usually you see Muslims waking up very early at dawn to eat. They pray, and then they start the fasting till when it's Maghrib time, the sunset. They break their fast, they pray, they go for prayers in the mosque, and then it's a series of making dua, making sure that you purify your heart, so that even after the end of Ramadan you have a whole new heart to start the other months with. So Ramadan is really a blessing for we Muslims, and then we should all take it very serious and involve ourselves so that Allah will bless us, inshallah.
Inshallah. Ramadan is a month of blessings, and then we should all try to, as much as possible, get some of these blessings, even if it's not about fasting. Try to get as much of the blessings. So, Auntie Kabira, can you help us, give us a another like explanation as to what Ramadan is, your view on what Ramadan is.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we thank the Almighty Allah for making us of those who witness the month of Ramadan. A lot of people wished and hoped to witness the month of Ramadan, but unfortunately they couldn't witness the month of Ramadan. But Allah has favored us to be of those who witness the month of Ramadan. It is important for us to know what the month of Ramadan entails and how to maximize blessings in the month of Ramadan. As we all know, as part of the pillars of Islam, some say the foundations of Islam, the cause of Islam, that is the kalimat al-shahada, the salat, the zakat, the sawm, and the hajj, right? As we heard, sawm is part of the pillars of Islam, and the sawm that is spoken about as part of the pillars of Islam is the fasting in the month of Ramadan. Okay, so Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar, and it is the month in which the noble Quran was revealed. And as much as possible as Muslims, there is a great expectation from Allah, that Allah said in the Quran that
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
Yes, as the verse, as Malima recited the verse is saying that Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who believe, kutiba alaykum siyam, fasting is ordained on you as it was ordained on those before you, so that you may be of those who attain what? Taqwa. So taqwa is the goal of fasting. Allah said that He created us for no purpose than to serve Him. That is, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So as much as possible, as part of our service to Allah, those before us, they did the fasting, and Allah said, if you also believe, if you are of those who say La ilaha illallah, then fasting is also ordained on you. And the goal of the fasting, what we are supposed to achieve at the end of the fasting is what? Taqwa. And taqwa can be translated as God consciousness. God consciousness meaning you are sitting at a place but you are very much aware of what pleases Allah and what displeases Allah. And hence, if you are to choose between what pleases Allah and what displeases Allah, you do what will make you earn the pleasure of Allah, what pleases Allah, what will make Allah love you, okay? So that is what we call taqwa, God consciousness, because you are conscious of Allah and you always want to be in a good relationship with Allah. You want Allah to love you, so because of that, you are always conscious. So in the month of Ramadan, we are told that we abstain from what? Food. We abstain from water. We do not gossip. We do not cheat. We do not backbite. Okay? So if we stay away from backbiting is evil. So meaning we are having God consciousness, because we won't gossip and we won't backbite and we won't cheat. You get it? But if we want to get closer to Allah, what do? We'll do a lot of nawafils, right? We'll do a lot of nafila. We'll recite the Quran, because Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed. So as much as possible, we will intensify our recitation of the Quran. We will do a lot of good deeds in order to gain the pleasure of Allah. Thank you very much.
Just digested almost everything. So if we go to know what Ramadan is and basically what it entails. So right now we would move to the relevance, what Ramadan brings to us, what we attain and what's like the Ramadan. So basically, what is the relevance of Ramadan to us?
Okay. I would say in a simple word that Ramadan is an opportunity, or fasting, Sawm Ramadan is an opportunity to gain, to break bad habits. Okay, as we all know, we are human. And people say to err is human. Like human being, we are prone to a lot of evil. Do you understand? We are not perfect. Do you get it? That's why as much as possible, it is important for you to note that this particular act that you are engaged in, or this habit of yours that you have, is an evil act, is something that is a bad habit, and as much as possible, it is for you to do what? Work on it, such that it will become a part of you. So Ramadan is an opportunity. You realize that we have 12 months in the Islamic calendar, all right, but we are not expected to fast throughout the 12 months. Allah has given us an opportunity to use 29-30 days to do it, to get close to Him, to use 29-30 days to stay away from some evil acts and develop some very good acts. What do you see in the evening after Maghrib in your various houses in the month of Ramadan? What happens? Okay, what do you see when you go for your iftar? What happens after Isha prayers? What are some of the things you do? You pray optional prayers. So you do the Tarawih, okay? And that is peculiar to the month of Ramadan, you see. So it's an opportunity for you to do what? Develop the habit of doing a lot of nafil. And some of you go for tahajjud, Laylatul Qadr, right? So your parents will wake you up 12 o'clock on the dot. Then you go to the masjid, you go and join the congregational prayers. They do things and all that, right? That is to tell you that you develop the habit of what? Waking up at dawn to do tahajjud, because it's a very good way to get close to Allah. It's a way to gain the love of Allah, okay? And fasting gives you the opportunity to feel the pain of the poor and the needy. Do you get it? You have your provisions in your choppers, right? And you have your food, that's the lunch that the school serves, right? But you look at the lunch, it's only the preschool children who eat, right? So when someone stands in front of you to so by so doing, because you are given an opportunity to feel the pain of the people who are excuse me to say, less fortunate. If you're able to feel the pain, tomorrow you have some kind of, excuse me to say, sympathy or pity for them. Should they ask you something, you'll be very eager to share, because you know how it feels like not to have eaten. Yes, so these are some of the things you develop. And if you are somebody who is used to stealing, in the month of Ramadan, we are told that all the devils are chained. So if you are used to stealing, then if you go and steal in the month of Ramadan, then that means you are the devil yourself. Because Shaitan is chained, so nobody is pushing you to go and steal. You see, so in the month of Ramadan, we are able to stay away from stealing, because stealing is not good, is not part of Islam. They said what? Whoever cheats, Mangashana, whoever cheats is not one of us, right? So as much as possible, cheating is not accepted in Islam. In the month of Ramadan, if you are fond of cheating, you stay away from cheating, because you want to do what? You want to earn the pleasure of Allah. You want to gain the love of Allah. So in short, the month of Ramadan is an opportunity to break bad habits and develop very good habits like sharing. Okay, so you buy your iftar items. If you still want to gain the love of Allah, you have fasted since morning till evening, but you have this, you are the only person who have apple or grapes. You can see that your colleagues are all looking at you eating it. Don't say you keep it to yourself, because you want to gain the love of Allah. So that is for the sake of Allah factor. You understand? Because you want to earn the love of Allah, you want to earn the pleasure of Allah, you cultivate the habit of doing what? Sharing, in order to gain the pleasure of Allah. So you share with your colleagues, and Allah will also make you satisfied. It won't be that you have shared it and you will gain something. Allah is the one who suffices all of us. Yeah.
All of us are going to take something from this conversation. So, as I said earlier, the topic was on Ramadan and the benefits a Muslimah can do for this month. So, we want to know who a Muslimah should see, what are some of the things you should do to make a Muslim. You can be a Muslim with a need, but there are things you can do. So, what does a Muslimah do?
Okay, so I will take the question as well as in the context of Ramadan, right? Yes. So a Muslimah is simply a feminine or a female who submits to the will of Allah. A female who has borne witness that what? Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So alhamdulillah, all of us here minus the paparazzi, we are all Muslimat, right?
I'm also a Muslim.
We all bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah. So we submit to the will of Allah. And submitting to the will of Allah is that you have an inner desire. You have a passion. You have something telling you to do this particular thing. But because you are a Muslimah, you have accepted Allah, that He is the only God, and that there is no God but Allah, and that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the seal of the Prophet, and he is the messenger and prophet of Allah's ways, right? So if you say that, then you are a Muslim. So if you are going to do anything, it is important for you to find out whether this particular act you are going to do is in line with Islam or not in line with Islam. If it is in line with Islam, then you do what? You do it. But if it is not in line with Islam, then you stay away from it. So as a Muslimah, all the time you have Allah at heart. Allah will be your reason for choosing to do a particular act. Allah will be your reason for staying away from a particular act, all because it is the pleasure of Allah. You see, you have sincerely submitted to the will of Allah. And in the month of Ramadan, fasting is not obliged on a little child, a child below, let's say, 5 years or 6 years. It is when you attain the age of puberty. It is when you attain the age of puberty that for the females, when you start menstruating, fasting is compulsory on you. So the grace period of fasting from 6 to 12 is all over because you have attained the age of puberty. So you are accountable for every step you take. If you do not wear your hijab well, you will have to account to Allah for it. So you are supposed to know the rulings on hijab, adorn yourselves on the hijab, know the rulings on fasting, and fast, because fasting is obliged on you.
So, you want to know Ramadan. What are some of the things a Muslim should try to do in order to attain the blessings of Allah? When you were speaking, you made mention of the fact that young children are not supposed to fast unless, of course, you attain the age of puberty. So I haven't attained the age of puberty. I'm not supposed to fast. What then do I do in the month of Ramadan to attain some of the blessings of Ramadan? I'm an adolescent. What are some of the things I should do after fasting? What are some of the things I should do to earn more blessings in the month of Ramadan? I'm an old woman. I can't fast. What are some of the things I should also do to earn some of the blessings in the month of Ramadan?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, fasting becomes compulsory on you when you attain the age of puberty. But most of our parents, it's important that you can't just stand up one day and just decide to fast. You may break down, but it's a training process. Do you understand? So a lot of our parents encourage us. In fact, it's highly encouraged in Islam as well, that you do what? You train yourself with the fasting. So some of the parents will start by making their children fast from 6 to 12. Then they break. Do you understand? Then other times the children are able to go from 6 to 3. Then they break. Then before 6 to 6 you get. So it's a training process. But when you attain the age of puberty, that is it for you. 6 to 6 strictly. You are fasting. You see, as if your mother does something wrong, Allah will question her for doing that particular wrong act. If you also attain the age of puberty, now you are no longer a child. You are a very big girl. You are a big woman now. You are a lady now. And in Islam, you are recognized. So you are supposed to pray your 5 daily prayers. You are supposed to fast in the month of Ramadan. It is only when you see your menstruation that you cease fasting, and you resume fasting once your menstruation is over. So now back to the question. What are some of the things we can do in the month of Ramadan as young people, as adolescents, in order to earn the pleasure of Allah? You know the zikr, right? So what are some of the zikrs we can do? Subhanallah. So you can be saying Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. So during the break time, you are in your class, whatever, you can be doing something in the class. You may not be during the break time, you are free. It's your leisure time. So instead of going to sit with people and be gossiping and be doing whatever, you do what? You be saying Subhanallah wa bihamdihi in your heart. You sit down, you can just go and take your Quran, you'll be reciting. Apart from Subhanallah, what can you do? Alhamdulillah. La ilaha illallah wa adahu la sharika lahu al-mulk wa lahu al-hamd. Yuhyi wa yumiitu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Then you recite that one. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So all these that you can use to do what? To get closer to Allah. So as much as possible, you get yourself involved in zikr. And this is not only to you. You who have just attained puberty. It's not only to you. Married women can also do the same thing. A lot of married women think they cannot maximize blessing in the month of Ramadan because they engage in kitchen works, which shouldn't be the case. Because everybody is striving to earn the pleasure of Allah. Cooking is also very important. But taking women, Allah has blessed us with multitasking ability. You get it? So you can be in the kitchen cooking. Now you can do it while putting the food. Even the cooking you are doing can be a form of worship to Allah. So by the cooking, your cooking being a form of worship to Allah, intend that the food that you are coming to cook, you are coming to cook it for the sake of Allah. There's a hadith that says that a Muslim is one who doesn't fill his tummy with his neighbor, knowing very well that his neighbor hasn't eaten. Do you get it? So as much as possible, it's encouraged that even in the cooking, you bear in mind that, oh, there is this person I can go and feed. So if it is 3 cups of rice you can cook, then you do what? You can increase it to 5. So that after cooking, you can just look in your area for somebody that you think is needy. Then you also serve the person beautifully. Don't wait and pile all the leftover for the person. Serve the person beautifully. Go and give it to the person. You did the cooking, do the cooking for the sake of Allah, and have intentions of sharing some of the food for the sake of Allah. Because we are in the month of Ramadan, you gain fatter blessings that you will even gain in the other months. And back to you, the Muslim woman in the kitchen again. You can put on Quran recitation and be listening to it while you cook. So you are cooking the food for the sake of Allah, and you are listening to your Quran recitation. You are hearing the Qira for the sake of Allah. It is what? Reminding you of Allah, reminding you of the verses of Allah. These are ways you can get closer to Allah, and in fact, you can earn the pleasure of Allah by doing some of these things. And you have to be very cautious of what? Social media in the month of Ramadan. Those of us who use WhatsApp, Facebook here and there, sometimes it's very distracting. It will even be time for Salah, because we are addicted to our phones, or we have this kind of attachment with our phone or social media friends. We still hold the phone and we'll be fidgeting with the phone, and even time for so it's very important for us to be very cautious of social media in the month of Ramadan. It is important for us to have a plan in the month of Ramadan. Have a plan of activities, what you want to do in the month of Ramadan. And I don't know whether we have seen this book around, the Ramadan Planner. We have international copies available online, but alhamdulillah we have a local one designed by our Muslim sister around, the Ramadan Planner. It's also a very good book that we recommend that at least a lot of people will get access to it, and it guides in planning for the month of Ramadan. If you do not plan for a particular activity, you making a lot from if you don't plan for Ramadan, for you to maximize blessing in the month of Ramadan may be very difficult. For you to maximize blessing in the month of Ramadan, will be very difficult. So it is important for you to have a schedule, a plan, that this is what I want to do within the first 10 days of Ramadan. This is my dua list. This is what I want to ask Allah. This is the verses I want to recite on daily basis. This is the verse I want to memorize. This is the tafsir I want to listen to. These are ways to get closer to Allah in the month of Ramadan. And as we all know, it's important for Muslims to do what? To pray to Allah, to supplicate, to request. Most of you want to excel. Your BEC is fast approaching. What preparation do you have in place? Do you know Allah can work out everything perfectly for you? Allah will change your whole psychology such that you become a serious person. Then it's not a course that you have to be going for lectures, an online university. So you just take a short course of Ramadan to do what? To learn about Islam and get closer to Allah. So these are ways, and you can increase your giving of charity. Build an attachment with the Quran by reciting the Quran and listening and reading the translation, reading the meaning of what we are reciting from the Quran, in order for you to understand what Allah is saying by some of the verses, because most of us do not understand Arabic. So these are ways to understand the Quran. And you have to increase istighfar. Do a lot of astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. When you say that astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, you repent to Allah from your evil acts, your bad deeds that you are fond of doing. You are fond of stealing, you are fond of gossiping, you are fond of backbiting. You repent to Allah for all that, and you decide, you tell Allah that, Ya Allah, I don't want to go back to this particular evil act again. Ya Allah, grant me the willpower, grant me the firmness, grant me the irada in order to be able to stay away from this particular bad act, and help me develop good habits that will draw me closer to you. So these are things that we are supposed to do in the month of Ramadan to get closer to Allah. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
I wanted to ask about the menstruating woman, but it seems everything delved into the...
Yeah, and then for the menstruating woman too, you can decide to go to the minors. All these, you realize that, I didn't mention Salah in all that I said, okay? I didn't mention Salah in all that I said. But you can go, I mentioned the zikr. These are things that you needn't be in ablution before you can do. And the additional thing you can do is to go to the masjid. And you know a lot of women also go to the masjid. They go to the masjid and their babies will be crying and all this. You can just opt to babysit the children, entertain the children, gather them at one point, and even if it is teaching them subhanallah wa bihamdi. Some of the children are very small. If you can carry them for their mothers, in order for their mother to be able to concentrate. Do you get it? These are ways to earn the pleasure of Allah. And don't do this for people to say you are good. Do you get it? Don't do this for people to say you are good. Do this for the sake of Allah, in order to earn the pleasure of Allah. So for the married women, most of us have a lot of challenges in our marriage. Most of us have a lot of challenges in our marriage. But if we marry for the right reasons, like marrying for the sake of Allah, you put everything aside and you look at your husband. Whatever good you are going to do to your husband, you do it to your husband for the sake of Allah, because you want to do what? Earn the pleasure of Allah. You see? So you respect your husband for the sake of Allah, you cook for him for the sake of Allah, you satisfy him sexually for the sake of Allah, you clean up the house for the sake of Allah. Whatever you want to do, you do it for the sake of Allah. Okay? And whatever evil act, maybe your husband knows that you are someone who is very cheeky, you don't respect him, whatever thing that you know your husband has identified about you that is not so good, the month of Ramadan is an opportunity for you to go to him, seek forgiveness from him, tell him whatever evil he has done to you, you are forgiving him for that. Okay, so you start on a fresh note, and there is nothing beyond the power of Allah. Whatever challenges you may be facing in your marriage, it is for you to put it in your dua list. Pray to Allah, pray sincerely to Allah, cry your heart out to Allah, that Allah should help you in solving this particular challenge, and do all the goods for the sake of Allah. These are, beautiful ways. And you know, your husband has his family members, right? It is for you to do what? Encourage him. Oh, your mommy is home. Why not we getting this Ramadan package for her? What's the name? Milo, tea bag, oats, whatever. Then you encourage your husband that you go and do this presentation to your family. Go and give this gift to your mom. Do you understand? Not it can be to your with your husband's mother or your wife's mother. It's all beautiful. It's part of the sadaqah, and it's worthy. I mean, so it is important for us to encourage our spouse to do good for the sake of Allah. Inshallah.
I think you've digested almost all the questions, so we would end with a final words, like whatever you want to say finally. And then our sisters will also like say something small to encourage our other sisters and maybe wish them Ramadan Mubarak and put everything into it.
Okay, so on this note, all I have to say is that as much as possible, we should thank the Almighty Allah. In fact, alhamdulillah, I personally thank the Almighty Allah for making me of those who witnessed the month of Ramadan, and I know you are also very happy to have witnessed the month of Ramadan, as it is an opportunity, okay? And today is, the 9th of Ramadan also. It's today the 9th of Ramadan. And as you can see, if it is 9th, that means we have just 21 days more, right? 21 or 20 days more to complete Ramadan. So what have you done within the first 9 days or the first 8 days? If you have done a lot of good, there is still more room for improvement. We have 21 more days to go. But if you have wasted the time for Ramadan, such that you are fasting, you are not eating, you are not drinking water, but you are gossiping, you are doing a lot of evil acts, then it is for you to sit up well, because you don't know whether you have an opportunity to witness another Ramadan again. It is for you to wake up and sincerely stand for the sake of Allah, plan, schedule everything, and in fact have your goal, plan it. Have whatever you want to achieve documented. Let it serve as a guide for you, and take advantage of the month of Ramadan to get close to Allah. Because if you get close to Allah, there is sweetness there. If you earn the love of Allah, there is sweetness there. So on this note, may Allah forgive us or purify our hearts, make us of those who earn taqwa in the month of Ramadan, and in fact may Allah help us stay away from our evil acts, and the good acts that we nurture in the month of Ramadan, may Allah make it part and parcel of us, such that all the time we will be in the state of God consciousness.
I think we all heard Sister Auntie Kabira. So if there is anything you also want to say to your younger sisters to also get some of these blessings, you can just tell them so that we continue. So if there's anything you want to add up.
Please.
Okay.
Please, madam, if you want your sister to play some of the Tahajj, and she says she will play, can you force her to?
Actually, it's upon you. You are supposed to sit her down. I know you know some of the benefits you attain when you do the Tahajj prayers. So you do your possible best. Sit her down. Tell her about the benefits she would attain in praying Tahajjud. I'm sure you would have gotten some of these benefits, and so you yourself as an evidence to tell her, this is what I do for Tahajjud, and this is what I get. These are some of the du'as I do to Allah, and so some of these things have been appreciated, and Allah has accepted some of these prayers. So when you do that, all you have to do next is you too should also put it in your prayer timeline and pray for her, so that she will also get that soft heart. Allah will touch that heart of hers, so that she will also be able to go for the prayers. If you do everything and she does the best way you can do it, you don't have to force it. That's why you have to just pray to Allah to also soften her heart, so that she will see the benefits of what praying it. And if Auntie Kabira to also.
Yeah, perfect. That's it, inshallah.
So if there is any other person who wants to say something or add something, an advice to our sisters, an advice to anyone during this month of Ramadan, you can also add it, so that I want to talk. I want to say something. Talk.
What I'd like to tell my Muslim sisters is that we should try our best and try not to get easy for food. Because in the month of Ramadan, we get a lot of blessings, and the blessings are a lot. Since we are going to fast, we are going to recite the Quran and make a lot of dua. So even if you are highly tempered and your temper isn't good, you should try as much as possible to control it. because you might do things which you aren't expected to do.
Okay, so is there anyone coming up to bring us another advice? Don't get provoked. So what's next? Who is going to talk again?
So the verse we say that what has been an advice, and it's part of you. So if you are conscious of Allah, Allah says that in fact the verse says that Alladhina yunfiquna fis sarra'i wad dharra'i. You get it? And by this verse, Allah is telling us that we should be of those who would spend in the cause of Allah, whether we are rich or poor, whether in adversity or in prosperity, whether you have plenty or not, spend in the cause of Allah. And the verse continued by saying that وَلِكَازِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ, and suppress your anger. There's a possibility, because we are human, there's a possibility for someone to do something to you that will provoke you or get you annoyed, but Allah is saying that you should what? Refuse to be provoked. You should suppress your emotions such that you can control your emotions and you won't be easily provoked. And he's saying that walafina alinnas, and that you should be of those who forgive. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin, and that you should do what? Allah loves what? The people who are the good doers. Okay, we want Allah to love us. It is important for us to do what? Share, suppress our anger, forgive, in order to and do good for Allah to what? Love us. So thank you very much, Najata. We need anyone else.
As I said, that you should control your anger. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tawbah, do not be angry." So if someone does you something that you think it hurts you, you either tell the person that what the person did you don't like it, and the person asks for forgiveness and you should forgive the person, and you should be patient. And Allah says, all those who are patient are with me. And even if someone slaps you, in the month of Ramadan, tell the person that Allahumma inni sa'alu, Allah fasting. So
and then we say Alhamdulillah for our lives, for the knowledge, for everything, and then we ask Allah to give us more lessons so that we'll be able to share and then help ourselves, help our communities, help the world with what we have. So Alhamdulillah, and then we give praise to Allah for making us alive and giving us life in order to sit for this.
When you are baby, and you are from Piano, I was so young from Papa. People say enterprise, Elma quality phone, who has Samsung, Nokia, Infinix, iPhone, and also technical. Mobile phone, people say enterprise, so pen drive, phone card, memory card, and also charges, and any phone accessories here. People say enterprise. Get your council and say, what mobile phone? Yes, someone 1 year warranty. Our mobile phone, battery, papa. People say enterprise, and I'm mobile phone, papa, more easy. Yes, some accessories, and the account. So young papa, and so young, people say enterprise, say to the Bema, I was so to TV, any prices you want them, I was sent for more. People say enterprise, near my flash screen, LED, and also plasma, people say Elma, the one that from our person, people say enterprise, and change your money map and answer peace at your build friend. I was 0244-553-343-0243-8111-233. People say enterprise, and mobile phones and flash
Opposite Sika, a Kenya, Missem, as a amount for GDA, near amount for cra.
ha ene dan kwa ma temuada sene de bia ye bom paye se rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar ene wo ha onyina to acha mam online media network odawa fikasiem a ye di nyankopon wasem brem wa santitwi hausa ene brofo kasem e wo wiase afana nyina no yawo mo a ye betua studio bells asiesie studio video atoton fidi foforo e de aboa bonten sunya mesem ka nya mesum pensem pesemu ene dwumadie foforo akaka o Ghana ibi boyen e wo Universal Merchant Bank I credit your friend UMB account name Mam Online Media Network account number 022139560219 and now your mobile money number is 0246751175 edina dasunye Mam Online o amana so a betime yibi aboa dwumadie e wo Swift code MBGHGHAC 022139560219 Why the go to for Nyankopon bosia na wabone mo edi amano insha Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Opesa obo nyamsem kan enye opesa usika kanya mesem esesa amanfo gidie ni amanfo kra anasa